Okay, now I think we're live everywhere. Oh, but
Yeah.
now I gotta pop out chat again.
Well,
Okay, so how do I go find? Man, see, and I even like I tried to set this up at like 5 o'clock so I wouldn't have these problems. Switch account. We'll switch to me. Why not? Close.
okay.
Pop out.
Yeah, I see us now.
Okay, and we're live on BEM Standard. Million should be good. Todd says we're back, so we're back.
You know, because that's how we do. We're back. Yeah, man. Shoot. And for those of y'all that sitting in the bar, if you wonder what I'm talking about, you can look at the screen right up here. To some of y'all right and some of y'all left. Special guest in the house.
All right, so
We
this
got
is
CJ in the house tonight, our newest member of our armed forces. We thank him for his
what up,
service.
CJ?
He said, "Hey, we would have had a little Italian food today. Of course, I go and I just get some regular old lasagna, right? Get something cheap. Had to get something for your mom that you can kind of chew on. What he do? He find the thing on the menu that costs the most. You know what I'm saying? I need the combo something 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 or another. Okay. Uh, but anyway, all right. What we got here on the screen, JT?
Well, this is one of the first ones that you sent me about Isaiah Bond's route release.
Yeah, man. So when we're talking about DBs though, JT, what and y'all make sure y'all look see what's going on up here, right? Because it's all about leverage, right? This DB has outside leverage of the wide receiver, and he is trying to run an outside route. So what's he got to do? He actually stemmed him outside. Would you do that? Do you think that was smart to stem him outside first? Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I mean, you got to get him off the. Um, well, I like to say put him on his rocker, right? Because I want him. I want him to be able to sway back and forth so that it's a long double move, right? You get him to widen out, then you try to bring him back in. He thinks that second move is your actual cut, and then you get him with the third one. Now I
It's a
think the
heck of a
ball's got to
move.
be on time here, but hey, completion nonetheless, right?
Yeah, but see, I think it's a great route. Let me say that I'm thinking from a defensive perspective. It seemed like he kind of turned it a little early, and because of the split that he has, see, he didn't even backpedal.
Mm-hmm.
He gave himself put him in a bad spot. But I love what Bond did here, just using that leverage, moving him off the spot as you said, and then boom. Now the ball should have been out right about now. It may have been, but it's pretty tight. Okay, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about like that, right? In the show, we typically do it in the second half. Yeah, this one right here, y'all look at this, man. I saw this, and at first I didn't think of it about anything of it in the game, JT. Uh, just because I said, man, they just ran a sneak for 4 yards and touchdown. Then when I actually went and go back and watched this tape, I'm looking at this, I'm like, what? This is supposed to be a tush push. If you watch 26, he actually tries to go in and
Yeah,
hit
no,
Burrow. But Milroe's looking over there. Look at his head. Milroe's like, is that a big old hole over there for me to just run through? I mean, he's just staring at it. He never takes his eyes off it. He's just like, I'm out of here. And you can see,
Yeah, it was kind of funny because he ends up like he runs into Jam Miller and puts Jam Miller into the end zone with him, right?
yeah. And look at 45. 45 is supposed to be pushing him. He just misses him because Milroe just took off. But what in the heck was LSU thinking? I mean, how can you be lined up that wrong? The formation is even last time, right? The formation is even. It's two tight ends set. The backs are all in the back. It looks like a kneel formation. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand how they have everybody over there to the right.
Yeah, or at least somebody should have walked up or something. Like, this,
All the
dude,
backers. Look at
yeah,
it.
he ain't
They
want
got
none.
all 11 in the box. Why wouldn't you walk your safeties down? No, there's no outside receivers.
Uh, it's a sneak.
Dude, I don't even know. Like,
Everybody knows.
there's no even like, there. Not only are there not any outside receivers, there's actually maybe only one guy on the field that you would think that might run by somebody, which is him because he plays out in the slot. But that's a fullback. These two are running backs, and that guy is a blocking tight end.
Yeah. I just don't know. Someone just I don't even know how you messed this up. Safety or somebody should have been like, slide right, something. I don't know. But we don't care. It became 7 points, and we're going to be able to talk more about stuff like this because we got a great show coming up for you. If you guys are, tuning in, this is the pre-show. We actually haven't officially started the show, but we're going to in a moment. But I just got to tell you, we got good things happening. Make sure you stay tuned. Hit and subscribe that like button for us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're very grateful for the Bama Standard allowing us to be able to come and simulcast with them. You know, you can get all the great Alabama content from there and with Teague's Take, and that's why we decided to partner up a little bit because we have a great natural fit. So we do appreciate the opportunity for us to partner with them. But we got a guest that's sitting in the weight room already, and he's got a lot of work to do and all this kind of stuff. So, JT, we need to go ahead and get this party started right now. Okay, well, here we are. It is Teague's Take. It is a Wednesday night. I'm at the Lantern and Plano as always. It's a great place to be able to come shoot some pool. I am going to have to win again tonight at pool because someone showed up. I'm not going to call his name. He tried to bring a gift with me. He had his really nice Tied in Texas vest, trying to tell me, hey man, do you want one of these? This kind of thing. And I was like, bro, I'm not gonna let you win a pool. But John O is here as well. The ultra Bama fan. Y'all need to make sure you visit Tide in Texas. Go check out their gear that they got in this vest that I have. You know what? Toss me that vest real fast so they can kind of see because I'm a vest type of guy and I like this type of stuff. Marvin used to wear this type of stuff under his football pants.
Whoa.
He thought he was pretty and all that stuff. But
Time out.
I ain't introduced you yet. I ain't introduced you yet, man. You can't talk. JT, you know how to mute him? Can we mute him just for a second? But listen, we got a very special guest, man. He is the hard hitter, and that's why I wanted to have him on here because he speaks facts. He speaks the truth. He knows the game of football. Had one of the biggest plays in Alabama football as well, particularly against LSU. He's all SEC, all everything. But I'm learning so much more about him just as I'm becoming more of a friend with him. He is an entrepreneur. he's actually giving me some investment tips and things of that nature. A lot of times when you're talking to athletes, athlete to athlete, we're not always talking about that. But he gave me some great clues to be able to maybe capitalize and make some more money. So I'm very grateful for that. He is also the host of the Bama Standard, as we talk about. We love going on there. JT stood him up last time, didn't go. So it was just me, and I got railroaded by a whole lot of them. So me and JT going to come on there and just kind of we're gonna bum rush the Bama Standard. That's what we're gonna do. So we need to go ahead and welcome in Marvin Constant, number 40. Yes, sir. Yes,
Gotta get him in here. There he is.
there he is. All right. I didn't say, welcome to JT as well. You guys are very familiar with
Yeah, I'm always
who,
here though.
who JT is and what he does. And man, he's always doing some great things because tonight you're gonna see some new technology that I don't know if he built it, found it. I don't know
No,
what
that,
happened to it,
that
but
absolutely did not build it.
oh well, you can take credit for it. We'll just
Please
call it
don't
that.
talk about building technology. My head is hurting from my week already.
So what is it that you do now? You're out of football. Why don't you tell everybody kind of what you do?
I do data migrations as well as my team builds custom software solutions.
Data migration.
Yeah, those suck.
Trust
What?
me,
What? Data migration or the other
Yes.
part? I don't even know what he said with the other part. He
Well,
said what was
also
the second
building
part?
custom software for somebody for other people also suck because they never know what they want. They think they know what they want, then you give it to them, and then they realize that's not what they want. So then you got to start over, and then you end up giving them something dumb anyway. You know what?
discovery, plan, build, test, repeat.
So you guys are kind of in the same field. Is that what y'all saying? Is similar here or what with pro coding and all that kind of stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I write JSON, Java, a little C++, Python, C++. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. But that's pretty good. Maybe that's why y'all are always going to each other because y'all think alike and y'all are always trying to figure out a way to you know see who can be the smartest. I guess with all this data stuff. But
Hey, he can have it all. I'm fried. I'm fried.
No,
I went to
I only got
school
to
for
work for my
this.
own data.
Well, see, that's the thing. I went to school for this in the late '90s. The world of technology that I studied in school versus now is two completely different worlds. So I'm a student every day of the week still.
hmm well,
You think about it, George. You remember we grew up playing Oregon Trail and all these other games on floppy disk. Them days are long past.
hey man, they don't even know what a floppy disk. When you say floppy disk, what I've disk
For
used to
for
mean
for the young
flop.
folks, which I've looked at our demographics on our channel. We don't actually have anybody that's that young, but if you don't know what a floppy disk is, it's the save icon. If you ever wondered what that is,
George, I got $100 says JT does not know what a card catalog and a fish machine is.
no.
No, he doesn't. JT was on the cusp. He's 30, so it wasn't too. There's some things that he was around. My daughter, she's a little younger. There's a lot she hadn't seen, but it doesn't matter. What we have seen is Alabama kicking the hell out of LSU. All right, and I know when I came on to you guys' show on the Bama Standard, I was Uh, we all were kind of confident that we had a chance to win, but we thought we might struggle a little bit more. So, Marvin, how did you feel about the game? Did it come to surprise you that we were able to score as many points as we did?
It didn't surprise me. I figured we'd have a good output of points. The score that I predicted for that game, I think it was 31-24 is what I predicted for that game. So, had Daniels not got hurt, LSU probably would have kept the ball a lot longer and it would have been a lot closer score than, I think it was what, 42-28 was the final score?
Uh,
42, 42, 28.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
So, Jaden Daniels gets hurt, and that changes the dynamics of the game because now LSU is going to have a lot more three and outs, which means our offense got to possess the ball a lot more. So I'm not mad that he got hurt. Look, I get it. It sucked, but it worked
Yeah.
out in our favor because I mean he was killing us. He
You
was
bring
killing
Now,
us.
oh,
you
hold
bringing
on.
up a
So I
source
do, I
though.
do just want to remind everybody that Alabama was already up 2 touchdowns when he went out of the game. It wasn't like he got hurt and then they went up 2 touchdowns. It was already 42-28 when he got hurt.
I
Mm.
get that. But the man leads comebacks and he leads them well. I'm not knocking him. I'm not taking anything away from his game. I've watched him since he was a freshman at Arizona State with Herm Edwards. The kid can play. So that's why I was like, don't think that this is going to be a walk in the park with this kid. So, even though he got hurt, there was still enough time for him to still do damage. So again, I'm not mad that he got hurt. I'm like, hey,
Well, and that's such a sore subject for everybody because I'm tired of seeing all the memes or whatever them calling them. Our player a dirty player. Uh, I don't know. I'm not saying we need to dive into it because I don't. Football is a very violent sport. It's very subjective when it comes to certain things, particularly with targeting and things of that nature. So, hey,
I
man,
mean, here's the reality of every time you walk across those white lines, there's a chance you might not walk off that field. And that's what you sign up for.
especially if you're the quarterback, right?
But any position, you
Oh,
know that there's a
yeah.
chance that you might not make it off that field unassisted, or you might not make it at all. That's the reality of the sport we all play. I've
Hmm.
been there as well. I had to get carted off. It's not a fun feeling. You never know when that last time is going to be.
Yeah. Did they have to put a extra pillow underneath your head, or what? What's what size cart did they have to have for you to?
I'll tell you a funny story about it real quick.
All right.
So when it happened, I knew immediately I was screwed. I knew it. And I'm laying there, and my heel is in the center of my back, and I'm laying on it. It's underneath me.
Ah.
Rodney Brown, I know you know Rodney. Rodney comes out along with the doctor at the time, and they're trying to move me to pull my heel from underneath me so that they could, get me in the brace and stabilize me. I cursed Rodney Brown out so bad, and I told him, "Damn it, just let me lay here."
Hmm.
I did not want them to touch me.
Yeah, but it's a scary feeling. I know at that time your mom and your family and everybody else get really worried about you when you're laying out there on the field. So I understand the other side too. But I'm not a apologist about the way that we play football because people this is with the tush push. People asking about the tush push and should it be outlawed? So is someone going to get hurt? I was like, you do realize people can get hurt like on any
I will
play.
say I am surprised that nobody has gotten hurt on the tush push yet. That it shocks me every time that somebody's knee ain't been rolled up on or ankle or something.
But
Uh,
that's actually one of the safer plays that they're running. You got a better chance of getting hurt with the lineman pass blocking and somebody falling into the back of his
Yeah, that's true.
legs.
I just figured there'd be a little bit more dirty antics in there. You know what happens under the pile when everybody's in there and someone's literally bear crawling at your legs. I would think there would be some hands in the face mask or under a face mask under that pile and trying to poke a
Hey,
couple
hey, hey, hey!
eyeballs
This
out.
this isn't when you played. Nobody has a four-on pad full of nickels down there punching people. They outlawed all that. That's over and done with.
Oh golly. Well, you know. Okay, so I want to ask you about our linebacker play because you know much about it. Me and JT are going to show some plays a little bit later. Um, for people to see. And it's really, I I want to give a precursor because we're going to talk about the empty set, Marvin. Okay, when you know there's a chance that the quarterback is going to run it, and you're the linebacker back there, what 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 are you looking for? What were you taught? What is it that linebackers really need to be looking at when you got to run a quarterback and there's no running backs in the backfield?
Anytime you have a running quarterback in that empty set, that mic in that wheel, they ought to be communicating. That ought to be some type of two-man rat where they're passing that QB off if he runs. So again, depends on what happens because if it's cover one, then more than likely one of those two linebackers is going to have to cover whoever's in that slot. or that tight end or H back because they're going to be closer to them. So, but you're going to have to communicate with that other linebacker so he knows if you're taking off, he's not responsible for that quarterback. That's one of the reasons why I don't like running cover one in empty sets because all it takes is that quarterback to beat one person, and he usually has 20 to 30 yards to run because especially if you have, two or three verticals in a post, those DBs and the corners and safeties, their backs are turned. They can't see it because they're in chase. So that's when I hate running cover one or cover zero in empty sets. I
So,
hate it.
so what are you trying to say? You saying zone it up, or do you switch it up? I mean, I don't. You don't have to say anything yet, JT. I see what you're saying.
So
I
saying
see how
we
you
have
really.
we have an empty check that I think would satisfy exactly what Marvin would want to do as a linebacker.
Exactly. So, I mean, me personally, if we get a set like that, I'm gonna go to a cover three or something like that. Where at least I know there's somebody who can watch that quarterback because those two middle linebackers are basically gonna be covering those hashes. And yes, they're gonna pass off 2 and 3 as they run their crossing routes, but they're still in place to stop that quarterback for a minimal gain, opposed to it being cover one or cover zero, and nobody's sitting in the middle of the field because everybody's in chase. Then quarterback's running for 25, 30 yards every time.
Well, I should ask to preface that. Does it matter what kind of empty set it is? Meaning the personnel, because you can have empty out of two backs, you could have
Oh,
empty out of four wides and running back. You could have five wide receivers. Are you saying you treat them all the same?
no, you can't treat them all the same because if you have 4 or 5 wide receivers out there, then you have mismatches across the field. If you have, 3 or 4 linebackers on the field and you're playing cover one or cover zero, then that means you're going to have to put one, potentially two linebackers on slot receivers. That usually does not end well. If you go back to the game we played against Tennessee, where that slot receiver, it was either the back or the slot receiver, he runs to the boundary and 41 goes with him. Quarterback automatically knows I'm throwing him the ball no matter how well the coverage is because I got a linebacker on my receiver into the field. That's an easy throw all day of every day of the week. So the question is, do you want to get stuck in the wrong personnel group? Because again, most offenses want to go fast. So if you're out there, say in a dime or a nickel package, and they start going fast and they get you down to the goal line, that gives them opportunity to audible and check to run plays, and now they can attack you with the run. It's all about creating mismatches. So I would say, it depends on what you start with on first down and the tempo of the offense as to what defensive personnel grouping you need to have on that field. And if you can, audible to a cover three so that you have somebody in the middle of the field with the mobile quarterback.
Okay, and I do want to go ahead and say right now for those of you that are listening to this, not live but post show, and you're listening to the audio version, JT and I, you need to go back to our YouTube page, Teague's Take Podcast, okay, on YouTube, because we're actually gonna let you see some of these plays. We actually have two different empty sets from the LSU game that we need to talk about. They both went for a touchdown, and the other one went for some yardage. Um, right. So we want to be able to discuss that. So make sure that you come back in and tune into that. Okay. So
Well, hold on before we move on. We got a question for Marvin out of the audience. That one is: does your book apply to folks in their 30s? I need to make some changes big time.
Late 30s, 40s, 50s, yes, it applies. The guns are real, baby. They are real.
and real about this thing. This thing, look at it, man. This is a he always trying to flex on somebody. Then
No, 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 no. But in all seriousness, though, it's a different approach in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, especially we because the body doesn't recover like it used to. Man, I used to bench 525. You couldn't pay me to get under more than 205 right now. It's all about understanding what the body can take at this age. Proper nutrition, proper rest, proper hydration, and just fueling your body appropriately.
how does
Not
Well,
everybody
giving it
tell
too
us
much.
tell us what the name of the book is.
and how to get
Physical and mental fitness at 40 plus. You can find it on Amazon or you can go to my Instagram and there's a direct link on there.
You gotta
Instagram is constant45.
is it an ebook too, or is it only paperback?
I didn't do an ebook. I only did paperback because you can actually write in the book and track your progress. It's 3 different 6-week workout programs in there, one for beginners, one for intermediate, and one for people who've been doing it for a while. So in theory, if you're just starting, you have 18 weeks worth of workouts where you can build up and actually get yourself into pretty decent shape after those 18 weeks.
Okay, but it seemed like you'd want to have something. Both of y'all are like these computer dudes, and you telling me I need a book that I got to write in? You can't send me something I
Hey,
can type in and
well,
just
I asked
what is this?
because the physical books they don't get read.
Well, the physical book allows people to write in them, erase, modify,
Yes,
change. So
what Marvin is saying is the book ain't for me because I'm not. I can't bring myself to read the paper
He,
version.
he said over 40. That's what you're trying to say. He said it's for me, is what he's saying.
yeah, over 40, this generation, we'd rather read and write.
Well,
JT, you don't even know how to write in cursive. Why are we
That's
having this
not true.
discussion? They
he
stopped
know how to
teaching cursive to him,
he know
George.
how to write one letter in cursive. That's J. The first letter in there,
Oh
all the
my
rest of them are
God.
printed. And maybe the T. That's
That's
it.
all he know how to do.
Shoot. Kids lost everything print and type. Yeah, shoot. JT, were you around when typewriters were around?
No,
No,
Were you a typewriter?
no.
no,
Oh
no.
man, you had to.
Typewriters were old. They were still around, but they were not. It was not normal to have a typewriter.
Oh, you don't know what it was like to write a paper on a typewriter if you messed up and you had to go back in and fix it. Yeah, you couldn't just erase it, unless you had
White
one
out.
that really fancy. Yeah, you had to put the little thing on there. Then, man, ooh wee. Anyway, you better catch it early too, because trying to get that paper line back up right.
Right.
There, see, Jono over here that got throwing the cue ball off the table
Oh
already.
my
Don't even
God,
know how to play
John,
pool.
sit
Look at
down, sit down, watch the
it. Did,
show. You can embarrass
yeah.
yourself later.
And then he chucked the cue ball at somebody. Man, I'm telling you. What is this? Anyway. Okay, so we only got about 5 more minutes with Marvin before he has to get to
I'm actually going to be free for
work.
about 10 to 15 more. I thought this was an hour early, the time difference, because I'm doing a lot of pre migration activities for something I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning
Oh
for in the
Jesus
morning.
Christ!
Hmm.
Huge migration. So, yeah, I just had to make sure everything was done for this.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you clarified that because I thought you said pre-ejaculation for a second there. I was like, what? He getting a little too serious here on the show, man. We don't need to
Pre
do that.
migration activity.
Okay. So, well, let's talk about. And I haven't studied Kentucky enough. What are your thoughts on this next
Well,
game?
first I got a question about Kentucky. Okay,
Okay.
so I guess a couple of questions. From an outsider's perspective, how do we feel that Kentucky has been with Mark Stoops as the coach versus what we expect Kentucky to actually be? Are they doing? Are they above where they should be? Below, right where they are, where they're supposed to be at? Because I mean, they're still, in my opinion, still a basketball school, even though Mark Stoops and John Calipari are still having Twitter beef over this.
Marvin, you go first. What do you think?
Well, I've been watching, Kentucky's football the past few years since Stoop has taken over, and they've made significant progress. Honestly, I thought this would be the year that they take that final step to actually compete with the big boys in the East. But, when they went to go play Georgia, that showed me a lot about them because how do you have the performance you had against Florida one week and then a week and a half, 2 weeks later, you play Georgia and it's like you pissed it down your leg. You can't play so great against one school and then you at home and then you go on the road and it's like you have no desire to be there. They let Georgia do everything that they wanted to do to them. I thought Kentucky, after seeing them play Florida, I thought they were a more explosive offense than they really are. So I'm assuming that it's just the level of competition that they've played as to why they look the way they look early on. But again, and this is what you Stoops is what third, fourth season. So by this point,
No, no,
they should
no,
be.
no. Stoops Stoops has
How long
been
has he
there
been
for a
there?
while.
I thought it was like his fourth season, so he's been there longer than 4 years.
I'm going to double check because
That's long enough to be good anyway.
Right, but he should be at a point to where that
no,
team is
Marvin,
performing better.
Marvin. This is his 11th season.
What? I thought he was. Oh, he's been in Kentucky that long?
Yes, and he just got his first road SEC win.
I don't know why I thought he had just been at Kentucky for 4 years.
But that's why I wanted to ask the question, because I would have told you, yeah, but Mark Stoops has him overperforming what you think Kentucky's supposed to be. And then when I realized that they beat Florida on the road, and that was his first SEC road win in a decade since he's been there, I was like, okay, maybe I need to readjust how I've been viewing.
Dude, there's still Kentucky, man. Like you said, basketball school. I mean, you can try to get
You play
high
Vanderbilt
profile
on the road
coach.
every other year. You haven't beat Vanderbilt on the road yet?
Exactly. And again, the way they beat Florida, I expected more out of them, on the back end of the season. But clearly I was wrong because that trip that they took to Athens, that was ugly. It got ugly fast.
I
And
I would question this, and I don't know. Maybe it's something we can look at, or you guys can plug it into one of y'all machines and figure it out. But I would figure out, does Vanderbilt overall athletic program perform better than Kentucky's overall program? Meaning, who has more wins and losses across the board? Softball, baseball, football, swimming, all this kind of stuff. Because I'm thinking Vanderbilt actually brings in a different type of athlete. They both have to have the same high standards in academics and all this kind of stuff. But I think Vanderbilt might do a better job of recruiting athletes.
Vandy cheat though. Was their locker room hot pink? No. Was their visitors locker room hot pink when you played at Vandy, or did you have to play at Vandy?
I did play at Vandy 1 year. I got hurt there. That's why I remember it for sure.
Their visitors locker room, it's small and painted hot pink.
I don't remember the hot pink part, but I remember it being a terrible stadium.
The visitors locker room is painted hot
Well,
pink.
Vandy's
PO.
stadium is still under construction right now. They have their scoreboard hanging from a crane.
No,
I think I'm playing. I'm serious.
They got a lot of money there. There's no way they should be having things not done before the season. I mean, give me a break. Whatever.
Very true. But to take this back to Kentucky, looking at who they play on a yearly basis, and with what JT just said in regards to them, to Stoops finally getting his first road win.
It's got to be first SEC West road win.
Well, either way. Well, here's the thing about it. The teams that they're playing, they should perform at a higher level. Come on now. If you're playing Missouri, South Carolina, Vandy, I mean, the teams that they're in Tennessee has not been relevant up until recently. So they've been playing a lot of very horrible teams. So what's preventing them from making that final push to being a team that's actually above average?
I don't know, man. I really don't. I was expecting more out of them to answer JT's question. I would expected it more, just the same way Marvin said, coming out very fast. But my thought was, or my answer is, I think they're where they need to be just because of who they are, Kentucky. I don't think we can expect them to be competing for championships ever. They get lucky every now and again. Kansas get lucky every now and again. They got the one big, humongous quarterback that came in and couldn't no one tackle or stop. I don't even remember that quarterback name.
Man, look, there's no. I've seen Missouri in the SEC championship games more times than I've seen Kentucky.
Missouri won the East, but their first 2 years in the SEC.
Everybody that came in was good when they first got in. Texas A&M was good when they first got in.
But they didn't win the West their first 2 years there like Missouri did, though, I think. Didn't Missouri, it was either their first year or their first
it might have been their first two.
Won the East.
Yeah, they were there 2 years in a row. Now they got smacked by whoever came out of the West.
They got a couple good recruits early on there. They had Chase Daniels and a couple of defensive linemen. Sam, whatever his name is. Uh, so I don't know. And then it's back to life, back to
You know what I'm
reality.
praying. You know what I'm praying they do. I wish they would just move Alabama and Auburn to the east once Oklahoma and Texas come on board. I really wish they would do that.
Mm, nah, they're not gonna do that.
But you think about it in theory, that will preserve pretty much every rivalry that exists in the SEC. You still have Alabama, Tennessee, because now they're in the same division.
Mhm.
Alabama, Auburn, same division. Georgia, Auburn, same division. Georgia, Florida, same division. Only one you'd have to worry about is Alabama, LSU. Everything you preserve every other rivalry in the SEC by moving Alabama and Auburn to the east.
Yeah, oh well, I guess you'd have to allow two permanents cross uh permanent. So if you do that and you add the ninth conference game, I think that's it right there.
Yeah, but by simply moving Alabama and Auburn, you pretty much have preserved everything that the SEC has stood for all these years.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I have to go back and look at that, but you know, I know you on point with everything as you always are, particularly with your show. So tell everybody about how they, find you again,
You can
with your
find
podcast and your social media stuff.
You can find me on Instagram, Constant45. I'm one of the co-hosts on the Bama Standard. We're live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. You can find us on YouTube. If you follow myself, Justin Riley, Steve Brown, Bo Scarborough, Stephen M. Smith on Instagram, we usually post those links every week. And when I tell you things are about to be very interesting, we got confirmation that we have a guest coming who's about to blow y'all mind.
That's the tease we get right there. I mean, this we
All
can't
I'll
get a little
say
bit more.
is he's one of Alabama's current offensive stars.
Okay, all right, all right.
Oh yeah, so it's
You
coming
know,
here in the next week or two. It's gonna be a dope show. Oh,
yeah.
it is going to be.
Well, y'all make sure y'all stay locked in to what's going on with the Bama Standard and see who this guest is going to be because they always keep it live. And I'm going to see if they treat them. I can't say him yet, but like they be treating me when I get on there, and they just try to, tear me down. They got the comic man on there and all this kind of stuff. So, no, for real, it's a great time. They have an awesome show. It's very good with content. They shoot the facts. They give you good opinions, but they also have a lot of fun. They do run Justin Riley a little hot sometimes because he try to stay on track and they ain't really staying on track. But
Well, when we have points, it's so many strong personalities. So when somebody has a point that they want to stand on, they're gonna stand on it. And Justin's just like no, Justin, just let him get it out.
hmm hmm okay, well, Marvin, we want to say thank you for coming out. We're very conscious of your time, and I know you got a lot of work to do. So we appreciate you making the sacrifices to come hang out um, with
one
us.
thing, one
Uh,
thing before I go.
mm-hmm.
We were talking about this last night. I really believe that this game, this Saturday, is going to be when you see this team finally put it all together. I believe you're finally going to see them play a complete game, offensively, defensively, special teams. I'm talking about. I'm expecting to see the same defensive performance we've seen in the second half against Tennessee and LSU for the entire game against Kentucky. I think they finally figured out enough to where they can go out from the first play to the last and get it done. I'm expecting Bama to win big. I'm going 41-13. I'm
Mm-hmm.
This will be the game because again, right now, what do we need? We're sitting at an A spot mid-November. We need style points. So this is when you got to impress that committee to get those points to get higher in those rankings. Yes, if everybody in front of us, that's going to work itself out because you think about it. Penn State's playing Michigan this weekend. Ohio
Mm-hmm.
State and Michigan State have to play each other. We're
Yep.
going to have to play Georgia as long as we went out. So everything's going to work out. And honestly, I think Utah is going to beat Washington this weekend. So I think coming out of this weekend, we'll be in a pretty solid position. And don't be surprised if Ole Miss takes down Georgia this weekend.
I'm
So
I'm looking forward to that game. I'm ready to
Okay.
watch that one.
Yes, I'm confident that we'll come out of this weekend in the top 5 next Tuesday. But I really believe that this is going to be a statement game for this team. You're going to see them put it all together and show the world who they really are.
All right, I like it. I like it. What? He must be sick over here, man. I like it, brother. You all right, man? Well, listen, man. You bring it home every single time, man. We can't say thank you enough for all that you do, for being a friend of our families, but being a friend of Teague's Take as well. So one more round of applause for Marvin Constant. Hey, yeah.
JT, you want to come work for me? I got some work for you to do, man.
The question is, can you afford me?
Oh, I see. Y'all gotta have that offline.
Hey, if you're interested in some IT work, man, you just let me know. I got plenty of opportunities for you.
All right.
Okay,
all right, man. So it's been a pleasure.
We appreciate y'all very much.
All right. Y'all take care.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, man.
Well, we have another viewer question I've been holding on to. It was asked directly for us. Let me find it in the queue. Van Edwards asked, as a defensive coordinator with all the restrictions against defensive players, how do you teach these young men to play physical yet smart? The thing that I have learned over the last 2 seasons is truly how to reteach tackling. I know we do, you always hear about the rugby tackling or hawk tackling, tiger tackling, whatever, wrap and roll, head behind, all that kind of stuff. That's all great. But the real revelation that we had this offseason was learning how to teach our players to tackle with proper technique and get reps at it throughout the entire offseason without the pads, without having to go, full tackle all the time. So
not hurting yourself in practice.
Huh?
Not hurting yourself in practice.
Yes. And even just being able to say, hey, in January, we're going to spend 15 minutes today working tackling, and we can do that without having to have our helmet and shoulder pads and all that kind of stuff on, from breaking it down to just the approach, tracking the near hip, striking with the same leg, same shoulder, widen and quicken, all those things that we always talk about. We started doing it in the offseason last year. We'll continue doing it in the offseason this year. And I expect to see really, really big improvement all the way all the way through the program, because I was able to talk to Coach Nate Moore and his defensive coordinator. His name's escaped me right now, from Massillon High School in Ohio. They're a very big program, and I really liked what they were showing in film on how their players tackle and how sure of a tackler they were. And you weren't always seeing big hits. You were just seeing guys on the ground. So we started adopting that, and it's been really good for us.
Yeah, I think he's right, JT, and you guys are right on point with that. Just try to get ready in the off season. I think you don't have to be in full pads like back in the day. It felt like you needed to be able to hit somebody, but it's truly what JT was saying, being able to track the hit, taking the right angles and putting yourself in the right position before you even get there. Then once you get there, keeping your head out of it and striking appropriately to keep everybody safe.
Yeah, because we've started breaking it down to different types of tackles, right? You've got tackles that are in a phone booth. We call them profile tackles, where you have to strike with the same shoulder, same leg, wrap, squeeze, drive for 5. And then you have those angle tackles, which we're going to make contact, same leg, same shoulder, head behind, but then we're going to wrap and roll from there. And the biggest pro from that, other than injuries, is there's no yards after contact on an angle tackle if you wrap and roll and put them on the ground right now.
That's right. That's right. And you can go look that up anywhere. A lot of people call that the gator tackle, like you
Hmm.
said, or rolling tackle. And it works. It's very effective, particularly when you beat. All right. Well, we got to get to this next part, JT. We're almost at 9 o'clock, or so.
Yeah, film session coming up. So recorded portion on your podcast. It's ending now. Come check us out. We've got a lot of things going on. We've got rankings that are now automatic. I hadn't told you that part, but now they will update themselves on Sunday morning. You can check that out, teaguesteak.com/blog/rankings. And we will have two quick takes Friday, Monday, so long as I get to it. Otherwise, it'll be Monday, Tuesday, where we'll be doing some more film breakdown, just like we're about to do right now. So we're 45 minutes into the show. If you're listening to this on a podcast and you get on YouTube, go ahead, scrub ahead to 45 minutes, 35 seconds, and you'll catch us on the other side. See ya. All right.
All right. And I guess that sounds like when you said that about your automation of your rankings, that sounds like data migration to me. I don't know. It just
Oh man, I was
just
so
seemed like it was.
I can't even wait till next Sunday, even though it like doesn't matter because I'm sure the rankings aren't really going to change that. Well, our rankings aren't really going to change that much. But just having it show up on the website by itself, and I just get to wake up and it's just done. Oh man, I'm totally excited about that.
All right. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it too. But let's check this play out. Okay, so this was Milroe's first touchdown, the running touchdown. And I've seen this kind of being developed some before, JT, on what they were trying to get to, but I think they ran this to perfection, a little bit. So I'm not even sure how to set this up. The first piece, I guess, what everybody needs to know is look at the formation that Alabama is in right there. So there's actually four eligible receivers to the top side of the screen, um, which we would call that unbalanced, right, JT? Because there's nobody down here covering up
Yeah,
our.
this actually means that this tackle is eligible right now,
That's
and this
right.
guy right here, tight end, is not eligible.
Yes. So they're in a standard defensive front. They're normal three down linemen, four linebackers, or whatever. Uh, they didn't even. I mean, they were already in a shade 5 and 9. I guess you can kind of see it from the back angle when we get to that. Meaning they got everybody shifted to the quad side, and then they're just kind of matched up man for man down here on the bottom. But JT, they didn't make any adjustment when he came over in motion.
No, they didn't. And let me. Yeah, this is no bueno, because what this tells me, at least, is this safety right here hasn't figured out that this guy can't go out for a pass.
No, he's still trying. I'm trying to figure out if he's trying to think he's covering him or is he covering the other tight end. Doesn't matter. I don't think they identified it. You're right. Okay, so now we kind of got him outflanked. If you look at this, meaning Burton is outside of this other defensive end. So there's a lot going on with this. So let's let it play for a little bit. Watch Burton block down on their defensive end. Okay, right there. So now
Just a
I don't know
beautiful
if you.
design. I really do. I watched
Yeah,
this play like 8 times. This was real nice.
it's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah,
And you
the
got
matchups that they got on this was beautiful.
okay. So you saw Burton run it back. Then you got to see Nye Black. Is that Nye Black come
Yes.
around? Yeah, it comes uh, on the behind the line to block. And so what I've found out, JT, also, and I need to pull a clip from this at some point in time, is that no, that running back actually went the other
Oh,
way.
right. He does go the other way. You're
That's
right.
why it froze the linebacker because he had to cover the B gap, and we'll show you that on the end. But one thing, and what I was making my statement was what I thought were like quarterback counters, JT, and where I was saying, hey, he won't cut up, he won't follow the blockers. It's not designed that way. They're actually still pulling people for Milrow to go outside. So they're hoping that they go inside, follow, stay
Mm-hmm.
inside the puller and let him run around them. So anyway, when you see this, you let it go. Running back goes the other way. Linebacker sucks up on the running back. This had to be one of the easiest touchdowns he's ever going to see. And the running, I mean, good Lord. All right, so here it is from the back end. So I'd like for you to watch number one because he's kind of, well, number one and number 30. So me and JT haven't talked about this. We don't really discuss these that much beforehand. JT, what I see in the one technique and number 94, the five technique, I think they're running a line stunt
Okay.
to the right. And that's why I think number 30 went into the A gap.
Let's see.
And why number one was reading number two. You let it run because you see him.
Oh,
See them.
yep.
All right.
Yep. He
I
did
think
slant
they're
inside.
running. They slanted, and so 30, where he looks like he has the B gap, he doesn't. He's got the A gap, and he tries to get it. Now number one has no
Yep.
choice.
Number one now is thinking because this is what I was looking at. I wasn't even really looking at the line, but he's trying to figure out here
What the hell's going on?
or here, and
Yeah.
he's got to make a decision. And if we're actually reading this, which I don't think we are, I think this is a called play. But if you're actually reading this, number one's gonna be wrong. He can't be in both places. You're gonna have to get a feel from a safety somewhere. But moral of the story is he went left, ball goes right, and
And
there's
they're
nobody else out here.
Yeah, that's why the creativity of this. I don't know what you, and this is one of the things I wish we could have talked to Marvin about a little bit because you don't. I don't know what number one can do. I mean, he's just like you said. He's going to be wrong, because he's probably, as we've talked about before, he's looking at the angle of the back. He has because if he doesn't go for the back, if he handed it to the
He has a
back,
touchdown either way.
I mean,
he's
Lord.
in a bind. Yeah, he is in true conflict.
Yes, that is a great word. That is a great word. Okay, so go on to the let it run because I think we did. You put the other angle
I
on here
did.
too?
I did.
Okay, because I think this really shows. I like the little highlight there. We pretend like we took credit for that, but we don't. JT got a nice little way to draw on here, but we hadn't figured out how to highlight like that just yet.
I know. Where's Coach Smook at? Because he asked me how I did this, and now I got a good answer for him.
Yeah. So, all right. So this is another angle. You see Burton blocked down, and then this corner. I don't know why he took off inside the way he did. It's kind of like that other play we showed on the pre-show. Go ahead and let it go.
Okay. Here we go.
The corner should stay outside.
Yeah. This is bad, not good.
So I don't. I guess maybe he's reading Burton's block and seeing them block down. I don't know what.
Well, I feel like you can tell here that these corners don't work on this. And I don't mean this like as a shot at this guy or LSU in general, but this is just not something they see often. He sees the down block by
It's a crack replace.
Yeah.
But there's another guy coming.
Right. And he just does not see that there's a guy looping to seal him.
Too late. And he don't even have to block him that hard. He just gets in the way and boom. 4-2-5. Okay, so man, I think that's an awesome play. And they run this multiple ways, right? And this is why I think this is so effective. We're only showing you this one clip, but like I said, they do run this with pullers. And having Milrow go. So it's very similar. I mean, essentially that's like two pullers. Am I saying this because I'm looking at 3 as a puller That's why I'm saying that, and I'm
Mhm.
seeing non-black as a puller. So it's the exact same in my mind. Yeah, if I know we're not showing you the play, but it's essentially you brought two guys from the top side to the bottom side. They just happened to go one of them pre-snap. Okay, this next one, you want to try to set this up a little bit, JT, because I know we talked about it with Marvin a little bit. What we're actually looking at here.
Yeah. So we're in an empty set right now. Um,
Empty meaning
meaning there's no backs in the backfield. We got 5 wide receivers. The only guy that's standing behind the line is the quarterback. Now, Marvin was saying that he doesn't like running cover one in this situation, which I don't actually think they're in cover one, but just in general, he doesn't like running cover one in this situation because the linebackers have their backs turned.
can we switch this to this? I'm going to go in and try to say for him. Do you think he's saying true man to man or with the single high safety?
I think he means true man to man,
Okay.
because his alternative was cover 3, which is still a single high safety. Essentially, I think what he's looking for is he doesn't want the linebacker to have to turn to a receiver and take his eyes off the quarterback. He wants eyes on the quarterback, drop to a zone. My empty check, I won't give all the secrets away since this is a live broadcast. My thought is, at least at our level, anytime a team's trying to get into empty, it's not usually because they're trying to throw the ball. It's because their quarterback is their best athlete and they're trying to escape with the
Yep.
quarterback. So we have a coverage that gets the linebackers out of pass coverage. So much so that when I teach this and we install it, I actually tell my linebackers, you don't have pass responsibility, period. You're reading run, and then if it's pass, we're basically going to green dog and just find the quickest path to the quarterback.
All right.
Because this is essentially what I'm terrified of, right? And this one's even more difficult, right?
This is more difficult.
'Cause-
You want to explain it and why? Because most people that I don't know if they really know what's going on. Basically, number I guess that's 66.
Yes.
The tackle. You guys got to watch him because he's actually pulling. Yes, so it's a design run. So look at our linebacker though, JT, to the left there, 15. Watch his action on the snap.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me because this made me mad.
Okay.
I don't know what Dallas Turner's keys are here. And when I say keys, I mean like what he is truly supposed to be looking at to find one run pass. It's either this guy or this guy. If he's going to be standing out here like a linebacker, I tell them to look at the quarterback because the quarterback is the most polished guy on the field. He will tell you immediately, like just for all the viewers, next time you're trying to figure out run pass, just look at the quarterback. Truly, even when they're warming up, if it's a pass, they're going to take it. They're going to take the ball and they're going to put it up to their chin immediately. If it's a run and they're running the ball, they're not going to show pass and go. They're going to catch it. It's going to stay at their hip and they're going to tuck it and run. So that being said, let's roll the clip and look at Jaden Daniels, what he does here and what the tackle does. And Dallas Turner is already gone. He's already left.
Right where he ran it, right where he vacated.
Yes. That this check right here.
And he didn't need to get out of there that fast.
No,
He's already
he didn't.
gone right now. And if he would have saw the puller or the quarterback, or look through both of them, he probably would have been a little bit slower.
Yeah, because that being said, everything in the box is taken care of, I think, pretty well. You get the trap, we're stuffing it inside. Yeah, he might have a little crease, but 30 is going to come into here. I think this play is designed to go right here.
It is.
But you got Jod Campbell covering this. But if Dallas Turner is still here and he folds back inside, there's nowhere to go. But he bailed, trying to get to his receiver.
All right. So my only high level piece on this is also with the just from the other side. When you got a 4-eye, you kind of hope you don't get these traps, right? So if you run it back, that typically you wouldn't block him, but they have to block him with the tackle because he's in a 4-eye, so he just can't leave him. Um, right there. So the guard is coming down to the center, and you just
Mm-hmm.
can't leave that tackle. So uh, I don't know. The terminology we used to use is basically, he need to wash him down into the hole, number 50 for LSU. Just take him and let 66 adjust because he's essentially trying to get to number 30 as you watch. He's actually trying to get to him because he's
Yep.
gonna come off. Um, but it doesn't matter because so this is what we're talking about pullers, and maybe we can talk about this later. Uh, who's the other backer? I can see who it was, but he's trying to stay behind the puller. So I mean, it's a great play. I'm not saying that we did anything wrong other than Dallas Turner running out of there. He still don't see what's going on. His whole back is turned and just
Yeah, and that was one of the things that made me mad about Christian Story. On one of those, he kind of the receiver stops running and he has his back to the play, and he just kind of stands there and stares to the receiver, and then here comes Jaden Daniels just running by him because he's not paying attention to what's going on.
I don't know if that's me freezing up or you.
Uh, I don't know. Could be either one of us. But you want to get to the
It's
second
probably
play
me
here?
freezing up over here. Yeah, okay. And hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm starting to
Yes, I
lag
got
a
you.
little bit. Um, okay, so this is it doesn't start out on empty, but it goes to empty. So this is again being able to count and move. So they motion the guy and look at it now. It's like us, right? It's four to one side, first of all. Uh Quads again. Teams will run this, particularly when you take a running back out, um, to get identifications. Are they in man or in zone? What Marvin has been talking about. So we run a guy all the way past everybody. So he pretty much knows we're in man now. So there's nobody in the middle of the field. JT, I'm kind of liking this particularly where it is right now, just because when you count numbers, they got six blockers. We basically have six. We actually got seven in the
Mm-hmm.
box. And the quarterback makes seven. So we should be able to win a one-on-one with the quarterback, you would hope, right? When you let it run, though, all right, I see some confusion with our linebacker in the beginning. I don't
Yeah,
know
because
why.
he's trying to leave, and everybody's telling him. It seems like everybody's telling him, "Hey, you need to stay in here." Right? Everybody's kind of pushing him back into the
Can you
box. There's
circle
good
who?
communication by everybody.
Can you circle who we're talking about, just so they know? Because you can see him kind of pointing and starting to head out there.
Yes.
Um, yep, him. So if he's just locked in, I think he makes the play for a no gain because he runs in his gap, right? So let it run. You can see he's still looking around like what? Just missed him right there. So I I think we're in the right defense. It's just sometimes their athletes make plays.
Yeah. And I have to remind the players that all the time. You know, they always, come off the field. Like, what happened? What I do wrong? And it's like, hey, sometimes you just got to tip your cap to your opponent, because just like you make good plays, they make good plays too.
Yep, that's right. Well, he's one of the best in the league at what he does, and he knew how to make that happen. But whatever. So those are the two plays that I kind of want to talk about today. Hopefully, you guys enjoy this segment of our show. We do, that's for sure. I know it sharpens JT's coaching skills a little bit, make him think, hey, man, or see what he's doing very, very well, or maybe things that he can add as well. So, you got any closing remarks before we get out of here?
Yeah. Make sure you check out our channel, because we're about to record two more plays just like this. One of them even has diagrams from my playbook, because it is the same coverage that Alabama runs. So we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about what went wrong in a defensive play with that context. I can't actually remember what the other play is, but there will be, one will be coming out on Friday. The other one will be coming out on Monday. So make sure you head over to Teague's Take. If you're watching on the Bama Standard, you're not subscribed to them, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to them. Justin says they got a new website at thebamastandard.com. If you are currently watching on the Bama Standard stream, you should also go to Teague's Take on YouTube, hit like and subscribe on that, and make sure you catch our quick takes for all of our film breakdowns. We enjoy doing it. We try to make sure we get two out to you every week. I've also got some polls on our community page on Teague's Take coming out in about 3 hours to let you vote on some of the big games that are happening this weekend. You already heard Marvin Constant say he thinks Utah is going to beat Washington. So I want to see what our fans are feeling with some of these bigger games. So I'll have some polls out for that. Also, poll over here says who will be Alabama's offensive player of the game. You guys apparently liked Jalen Milroe. I did too. So if you would, please like, subscribe, jump over to our page, show us a little bit of love, and also check us out on teaguestake.com. And
that's right.
millions.co/George-Teague, because there's some memorabilia, signed jerseys. You got player cards on there too, right?
Yes, I do. With cards and jerseys, and a lot of people have been calling and asking me, and we've already been sending out things. And I do need to mention, I got some giveaways this weekend, JT. And since you brought up millions,
oh right, because I won't be here because it's my 6-year wedding anniversary on Saturday while you're doing your watch party. So check out the watch party, millions.co.
That's right. I'm going to be at Bonnie's and Clyde's with Titan, Texas, for the game versus Kentucky, and I will be. We're inviting people from all over the country to come watch it. It's free. You might as well come in, ask your questions, interact with me. I don't know how to get that whole setup JT had before with the cameras and all that kind of stuff. I'm a little bit limited on that part. I'll try to figure out something. But lock in, Dan. Come on in and chat with me in the group. If you're here locally, come on out to Bonnie's and Clyde's. Be there. We're going to have giveaways. I'm going to be giving away we're going to have some raffles where you can win some cards. There's other things they're not going to have a pool table, so I can't beat John. But anyway, it's going to be a great time. So just get locked in. Go see TitanTexas.com, and you'll know exactly where we're at. Okay. JT hit everything else. Hit that bell. Let's go. Let's do this thing. And JT, play my theme music, man, because when I hear this, that means Orange Tea is on the way. Matter of fact, get everyone at the bar. I'm JT. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm JT, and I'm going to see y'all later.